Welcome friends. Myself Tushar Gaikwad. I am going to deliver seminar on clinical trials. The learning outcomes of this seminar are the learner should be able to understand which steps are involved in application of new drug as well as he has to explain the phases of clinical trials. The clinical trials. It is a systematic investigation in human subject for evaluating the safety and efficacy of any new drug, in which most of the conditions only the satisfactory information has been gathered and health authority as well as ethical committee approval is granted. So, any new drug molecule, whenever introduced in a market, it has to be approved by the various governing bodies or health authorities. The reflection spot is which steps are involved in clinical trials. Mostly, the clinical trials is carried out in investigation of new drug development, which involves the preclinical studies which are carried out on animal beings, then phases of clinical trials. These phases are mostly involve three phases and then the approval of FDA, or we can say that the review of FDA. And lastly, the phase 4 of clinical trial is carried out. So first, clinical preclinical studies. Mostly the preclinical studies are carried out in animal beings, which are helpful for understanding the pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic studies, along with the identification of toxicity of any new drug molecule on animal beings, so that the sufficient data is helpful for carried out the clinical trials in human beings. For that purpose, the approval of new drug investigation has to be carried out. The next step, phases of clinical trials. Mostly the phases of clinical trials are phase 1 for first stage in human testing, then phase 2 it is a therapeutic exploratory phase, then phase 3 the therapeutic confirmatory trials, and phase 4 that is post marketing surveillance. So the phase is the first stage of human testing, in which near about 20 to 25 healthy volunteers are involved, in which the drug applications or study is carried out for 6 to 12 months. The main aim of this phase first is to determine maximum tolerated dose and safety dose in healthy human volunteer, so that the safety and efficacy of a drug is being measured. Phase second, the therapeutic exploratory trials. It is mostly carried out within 20 to 300 subjects or human beings. It may be healthy volunteers as well as the patients, in which the study is carried out from 6 months up to the several years or 1 year. The main aim of phase second is to confirm the effectiveness, side effect, and evaluate the safety. Next, the phase 3, the therapeutic confirmatory trial. The therapeutic confirmatory trial, it is mostly carried out before FDA approval, in which the targeted population is around 100 to 3000 subjects or human beings, and it is carried out up to 5 years. The establishment of efficacy of drug against existing therapeutic drug or molecule is to be carried out, and collectively safety and efficacy parameters are going to be studied, in which the data is collected for safety and special properties are identified, and according to that the new drug application is to be carried out. Phase 4, it is a post marketing surveillance. Whenever our drug is approved by the FDA, then this post marketing surveillance is carried out. In this, mostly the pharmacists and physicians are involved. With the help of marketing representative, the drug review has to be carried out. The time duration of this case is unlimited. Along with that, the adverse drug reaction and drug interaction are also identified with the help of this data. In this, mostly the manufacturer has to be submit the update of product or uh, drug molecule after every 6 months up to 2 years, and then annually for next 2 years after approval of the drug, so that the drug may be useful or it is having the various side effects. If the drug is having side effect, then the drug may be withdrawn from the market, or it may be utilized in specific areas. So this is all about the clinical. Thank you. Thank you very much.